Her name is Corinne Maier, and she comes to us all the way from France, where she now lives and works, sort of, yeah? A couple days a week. She works at a job as an economist, or at least did at the time that I was doing my research, for a giant electrical company called EDF, Électricité de France. They tried to fire her because she was, quote, pursuing a strategy of rotting the company from within. She says one other interesting thing that I thought I'd bring out, and then of course she'll come out and speak for herself. She says that North Americans believe that they can create themselves through their work, that they can change their life, that they can become rich. In France, she says, we don't believe that. It was interesting to hear that Frank Palmer's dad hated his job. Corinne Maier tells us there are lots more people like that out there. Corinne Maier.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I will sit on the chair because I'm afraid of being in front of you, especially if I have to speak in English for 20 minutes. I think it's a huge challenge. And as I am the lazy lady, maybe my speech will be shorter. I don't know. First, I want to say that my presence here is a misunderstanding. Because I come from France, and in France, it's a small country, and nowadays nothing much happens apart from riots and unrest. In fact, I'm not really French. I was born in Switzerland, and very short, I'm going to live in Belgium. And sometimes I say that I am francophone, a word that means that I speak French. And to speak French is a good thing because you can, for example, you can read Marcel Proust in the original version, or you can order a café croissant in Paris without being rebuffed. But to speak French is also a burden because French language is obey to very strict rules, and French people themselves often feel stuck when they speak the language. I say their language because in fact they think that they are the only one to speak French correctly, in the proper way. And they think that, for example, African people, Belgian people, Swiss people, or Canadian don't speak French correctly. The second reason why my presence here is a misunderstanding is that I write essays for my own pleasure. So I've written a couple of books, and none of them has sold very well, apart from the book about laziness. And I've written bizarre biographies, essays about psychoanalysis, a book about art. Some of them are considered as being intellectuals. Some of them has been translated, which I'm very proud of. But I would say that I don't care if some of them hasn't been so successful, because in fact I do it for my own pleasure. I've been inspired by authors, French authors like Roland Barthes, Jacques Lacan, or Michel Foucault. And through my writing, I often try to mix different approaches and different way of seeing things. The third reason why my presence here is a misunderstanding is that, to be frank, I don't believe in ideas. For example, if I tell you capitalism will soon die, or if I tell you since the end of communism we have no alternative to capitalism, here you have two ideas, true or false. But they are almost common sense because we have heard them before. So they are not new and we don't think about them. I believe that new things come from a shock. They come from new ways of mixing things, doing things. I give you an example. In the 1930s, the French anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss went to New York because of the war. And there he met a lot of interesting people. Among them was Roman Jakobson, an influential linguist. And because of this, Claude Lévi-Strauss decided to try to blend linguistics and anthropology. And this gave way to a completely new approach of his field. Of course, I'm not Claude Lévi-Strauss, but I try to find new tiny ways to blend things or to comment texts. And I would say that in my book, Hello Laziness, that is a book about work, I try to read the big companies' jargon. Because when I use the word text, I mean any kind of linguistic production. And I think big structures produce a kind of text, because in a big structure, in big companies, people often speak a kind of jargon. They use buzzwords, business plan, for example. I like this one, or you have plenty of them. And so it's fun to use this kind of jargon, this kind of bizarre verbiage, to try to understand it, to try to comment it, and to make fun of it. Because I think this book is a commentary connected to what is told and what is said inside big structures. It's also a reflection on white-collar environment, white-collar environment that has grown exponentially those last 20 years. And it's a book that makes fun of the people that you find there, engineers, salesmen, managers. This begs the question, what is the point of the existence of white-collar people?